was until Aftyn BEHN came along. The 36-year-old Democratic state representative has spent years as an organizer in Tennessee, coming to prominence by leading the campaign to call for the resignation of a Republican state representative accused of sexually assaulting underage girls. And that included a 2019 incident with dramatic videos from a local Tennessee station of her being arrested at the state capitol and dragged out of the governor's office and state house as she called for his removal. You can see her there on the screen. And earlier this year, she began monitoring ICE agents and filming them as they patrolled in Nashville. She has run some memorable ads, including one involving a mechanical bull, and she has spent a lot of time on the trail talking about, of course, affordability. And all of this has helped her narrow the gap. Just look at the polls. I mean, remember how Donald Trump won this district by 22 points last year? Well, the latest poll by Emerson College shows the race between Behn and Van Epps to now be a close one. Behn has cut the lead to just 2 at 48 to 46. And a race where even a single-digit loss could send a chill down Republican spines. It's now coming all down to the wire. It's coming up in just a week, too. Joining us live is Aftyn BEHN, Democratic nominee in the special election in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District. Okay, I mean, Donald Trump won your district by more than 20 points just a year ago. This would not have been a district that we would have been talking about, would have been focused on. And I just mentioned, I mean, according to a new poll, your race in that very same district is very, very close. So help us understand how you made this thing a toss-up.
Well, this race is competitive because Tennesseans are fed up and we're done being sold out to the highest bidder. And voters across the 7th District want leaders who will fight for their families and not the Billionaire Boys Club, who is backing my opponent, my Republican opponent.
I think the conventional wisdom, I just showed part of it. You have this great ad where there's a mechanical bull, which is an example of this. But the conventional wisdom some Democrats might have, or some people, an analyst out there might have, is that to win a red district like yours, a Democrat might have to tack to the right, or at least tack to the middle. You have run unapologetically progressive. I mean, I've mentioned a bunch of things, but you've talked a lot about affordability. But why do you think that has worked in narrowing the gap and not sort of the more traditional go tack to the center approach?
Well, as serving in the state legislature, I have organized around ending Tennessee's very regressive grocery tax for 3 years and have built a bipartisan coalition of those who want to lower taxes for working families. And this campaign has been a continuation of that. And so I've just been on the campaign trail talking about cheap groceries, cheap utilities, lowering rent costs, and it's resonating with so many folks across the district. I also got my start as a healthcare organizer, as you mentioned, during the 2017 Affordable Care Act and Medicaid fights. And I have been trying to make healthcare more affordable for Tennesseans my entire organizing tenure. And so that's really played out in the district as well, with Republicans, calling me, emailing me, saying, I need you to preserve the subsidies in the Affordable Care Act, and you will be the first Democrat I will ever vote for in my life.
Yeah, that issue, I was just speaking with Leader Jeffries about it, is one that a lot of Republicans underestimate the political power of it, and your district is a good example of that. I mentioned this, I mean, your work before being elected to state representative was you were pushing for the resignation of an elected official accused of sexually assaulting underage girls, which feels so chillingly relevant right now, given everything with the Epstein files. You have also, there were outside groups running ads. I believe you also ran an ad about this issue as well. Have you heard from people in the district, even from Republicans, from people who connect with you on this issue in particular?
Yeah, our polling showed that the Epstein files resonated, the release of the Epstein files resonated with voters across the district and across political parties, because I think it's very clear to voters in the 7th District that there are two systems. There is one for the wealthy and well-connected, and there's one for the rest of us. And those that have access get to cover their crimes. And so the video or the picture you showed of me was one of protesting a now Speaker of the House that is federally charged with corruption. And so I have a track record always standing up to the wealthy and well-connected and ensuring that the voices of the marginalized are elevated.
When you narrow a gap like this in a poll, I mean, there are different ways to do it. You win over people who voted for Trump a year ago. You bring new people into the system. What is it here? Is it both? Is it one over the other?
It's a great question. First, it's a mobilization race. I had the highest total voter turnout of any Democratic state representative in the 24th cycle. So you are trying to get out as many of your voters as possible, and we've seen record numbers in Nashville, which is where I live. Two, it's expanding the electorate, and this is a young congressional district. There are lots of young voters, there's lots of universities, and so we've had to organize young people to get to the polls. And then three, you obviously will, I've been on the ground talking to Trump supporters as well as independents and trying to convince them that I'm the candidate. If you are upset with the cost of living and the chaos of Washington, I welcome you with open arms.
Aftyn BEHN, I feel like I worked in politics for a long time because you love seeing people just like come from behind in races that people weren't betting on. I know you still have a lot of work to do over the next week here, but thank you so much for coming on with us and for being out there, putting yourself out there. It's not easy to run for Congress. You got to raise a lot of money, talk to a lot of people, and have a happy Thanksgiving in the meantime.
Yeah, thank you so much. The race is next Tuesday, and you can always Google me. You'll find my information, and would appreciate the support. A few dollars here and there goes a long way. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Okay, we've got to sneak in a very quick